Let's take a look at what I found. 90,000. According to News Nation, today we have 90,000 active missing person cases in the United States.
90,000. That is the number of active missing person cases in the United States right now. People that you may never have heard of before from different backgrounds and different races, thousands of families searching for loved ones.
So where are all of these people? That's the size of a small city. 90,000 people. Where are they? My question is, why are we not hearing about this on the news? Why is the military not taking action in finding these people, our people?
Hundreds of people are reported missing in national parks and forests, many of them children. The mystery those cases present has one man wondering if there's a common denominator behind the disappearances that have search and rescue crews continuing to scratch their heads.
We turned around and here was this little toddler walking out of the fog with absolutely no clothes on at all.
Well, it's trouble. Every month in almost every state, people go into the wilderness and don't come out.
Stories like that are what fueled David Paulides. Forever rifling newspaper archives and badgering federal agencies for public records, he's discovered more than 400 cases of people who wandered into the wilderness but never came back.
There are so many missing kids in Oregon, it's ridiculous.
Accounts of children, people, vanishing, seemingly swallowed up by the many endless forests across America, or even later found in ways that defy logic.
These were unusual things that don't make sense, that happen to cluster together in 3 to 4, sometimes as many as 20, 30 people missing at one location.
He's mapped out what appear to be more than 30 clusters of vanishings in forests and national parks coast to coast. Some of those clusters and cases right here in Oregon. All of them documented and described in his 2 books.
According to Oregon State Police, there are 41 missing children in Oregon.
And
Let's take a look at some of the information that I was able to dig up on all the missing children across different areas of our planet.
Tonight, there are hundreds of kids from Florida still missing.
And some even dating back to the 1970s. Investigator Mike DeForest takes a closer look at some of the cases and what is being done to find the missing.
How long's it been?
42 or 43 years.
That's a long time. Mary Andrews has not seen her twin sister Mabel since 1976. Family members say the 16-year-old vanished while walking from her home in Orlando's Paramore neighborhood to a nearby park.
She knew the address and phone number and stuff, how to get into contact with us, and she never did.
Mabel Andrews is among 350 children currently reported missing in this state. More than 50 of those disappeared right here in Central Florida.
The longer those children are gone, the less likely it is we're going to find them.
This is what it feels like when your child disappears. In India, a nationwide trade is separating children from their families. Every 8 minutes, a child goes missing in this country, and they're often trafficked.
मेरा घरे वाला लोग था ना, चाचा थे, बड़े चाचा, और मेरे पापा से पूछ के लेके गए थे
कि हम कितना देंगे या क्या करेंगे इस तरह से वो, और वहाँ पर जाने के बाद में कोई दाई का काम में भी चली गई, कोई ब्रोथल में भी चली।
How can this be happening? Midday in a suburb of northwest Delhi, and we're on a raid. We've had a tip-off that dozens of kids are working in bakeries here. After 20 minutes, the first children emerge. Every year in India, around 70,000 children are reported missing. It's thought the actual number's higher, as many cases aren't registered.
Gulaman Mai's son is missing.
I have prayed and begged that I get my child back, my son, Shakut. I want him back. Allah, his name is Shakut, and he is a small child, innocent.
Shaukat is just one of the 2,700 children known to have gone missing in Karachi in the past year. Muhammad Ali runs the Roshni Missing Children Helpline in Karachi, Pakistan's largest city.
Is for many reasons. One is a reason for kidnapping for ransom, and second is kidnapping for sexually assault. Third is a purpose of kidnapping for beggary. The kidnappers from the beggars groups in Karachi. And fourth one is trafficking.
Police say children are also stolen and smuggled to the Middle East to work as prostitutes, drug carriers, slaves, or even as camel jockeys. Karachi Police Superintendent Saeed Mazhar Ali Shah says trafficking in children is big business.
Several organizations coming together to help find missing children across the state. Today, a new month-long effort across the city has been launched through billboards that aim to find leads in local missing children cases. Sarah Costa spoke with one family who hopes this may lead to finding their 14-year-old daughter.
On this billboard behind me is 14-year-old Alani McCaslin. She has brown hair and brown eyes. She was last seen on May 16th of this year, and she's just one of the many missing children across the state. Texas Department of Public Safety Missing Persons Clearinghouse received 49,110 missing person reports in 2020, with 37,000 being juveniles. It's why the Texas Center for the Missing, the National Center for the Missing Children, the San Antonio Police Department, and Clear Channel Outdoor Americas have come together to launch a month-long public service campaign to help find some of these local missing children in 4 major cities: Houston, Dallas, right here in San Antonio, and in El Paso.
I find it really interesting that our government can put so much money and effort into tracking every single penny that we've earned so that they can tax us, and they let the corporations go with no taxes, and that they can come up with so much money to dole out for war, but when it comes to thousands and thousands of missing human beings, I don't see too much happening in that area. Why are we not doing something about this?
Thousands of child migrants are missing in Europe, and human rights organizations are sounding alarms.
Very little is known about what happens to them because their disappearance is simply not followed up. There is very little that is done by authorities, by child protection systems to understand what happens to these children.
Since 2018, 17 child migrants disappear in Europe every day, and at least 18,000 unaccompanied child migrants went missing between January 2018 and December 2020. These shocking statistics were revealed by the cross-border journalism investigation project Lost in Europe. The project revealed that the case of missing child migrants could be even higher than the declared numbers, and that European governments are failing to provide a solid system of protection for these minors. In 2020 alone, over 5,000 children disappeared in 13 European countries. About 90% of those missing were boys, and about 1 in 6 were alone and younger than 15. The countries with the largest number of missing children were Italy, Belgium, and Greece.
There are thousands of children missing in America. You can help bring them home. To find out more, visit missingkids.org.
Now, more than 3,200 unaccompanied migrant children are in Border Patrol custody, and that's a record high. Nearly half of the children, 1,400 of them, have been held beyond the 3-day legal limit in holding cells not designed for children. And despite the Biden administration's calls to end family detention, a senior border official says they're continuing the practice.
Governor Greg Abbott doubling down on his demand to shut down a child immigrant facility in San Antonio. And a letter to Vice President
President Kamala Harris, Abbott included details of 3 reports of potential misconduct. You can read the letter for yourself at khou.com.
I think it's a shame and it's a discredit to the people that we have elected to represent us as nations when they let things like this occur.
Reports that the U.S. government lost track of nearly 1,500 immigrant children it placed with sponsors are causing outrage and calls for accountability. In April testimony that's only getting attention now, Department of Health and Human Services official Steve Wagner told the Senate committee that his department followed up with over 7,000 of the unaccompanied children it placed in care in 2017, but couldn't locate 1,475 of them. That revelation has sparked demands for action among some in Congress and an online campaign, with trending "Where are the children?" and "Missing Children" hashtags. Wagner told the Senate that once the government places children with a sponsor, it no longer has legal responsibility for them.
What are your thoughts? What can be done to help solve this problem? Are you noticing this in your neighborhoods, in your nations? Are you hearing about this on your news broadcast? Because we're not hearing about it here, at least not enough.